Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to AITS Tech Talk webinar. In today's session, my colleague Monzer Karhani will be guiding us for the upcoming 45 minutes discussing the best practices for AVEVA system platform, the performance part. And I'm pretty sure that this will be an interesting session as well as valuable for everyone. So as usual, please feel free to type any question you have in the question box and we'll be answering it at the end of the session. And now I will just leave you in safe hands with my colleague Monzer. Hi, Monzer.
Hi, Nader. Thank you so much. As you explained, today we will talk about some practices. We'll show some practices to leverage the application performance, that's mean the behavior. And we will walk you through these practices before, that will be divided into three: before, during, and after installation. And we will show you how to install or where to install what based on your topology, and finishing up with some tools that will help you to monitor your system, to monitor your health, check if it's working fine, and we'll finish with this very important tool, which is AVEVA System Monitor Overview. We'll give the overview about it. Formerly, it's known as Sentinel. Now, why we need to follow these practices? Because if we don't, we will find ourselves in a very loaded system. The CPU will be overloaded, slow application. It will have some difficulty in maintenance, difficulties even in configuration. For example, if I didn't follow the recommendation for the network configuration, I will find lots of communication issues, some deployments issues, and it will end up with some data lost. Before starting any application or any installation, we have some prerequisites and checklists to follow, like the hardware, software, what is the computer name, and this is very important, the DNS or host file, we will talk about it, the network configuration, as I said, time synchronization, etc., etc. I will tell you where to find all these resources during the demo. We have the README files, which is very important for every installation you need. The installation guide that will come with the software itself, technology matrix that will show you the compatibility with your system or the existing system if you have an old system, or with the OS. It's brief to show you the compatibility with operating system and SQL, etc., etc. And we finish up. I will give you hints of some tech notes that is very good and useful regarding security and port. And some permissions for your user. Now, after planning your application, planning the system, and here we'll not talk about the application itself, not the objects, not the graphics. We will suppose that this is already done. And once you plan your objects and your templates, you have a very good hint how big your system is. And here we have, you reach the phase when you want to install your software. Generally, you have this general topology when you have the application object server, where these are the servers that will host your objects and communication drivers, Galaxy repository, historian server, etc., etc. Now, this can be big or small, depends on how big your application is. One of the projects I found, this is one of the biggest, I found like 75 different application object server. It can be bigger, it can be all-in-one. But regarding the all-in-one, this we don't recommend it a lot. We always recommend that the Galaxy repository and the historian server to be those two servers separated from everything else. So two different servers separated from the runtime. This is the first recommendation we do. Regarding the application object server, we always recommend, in case of non-telemetry server, to have the communication driver and the application object server to be installed on the same PC. Let's the object on the application object server to read locally and communicate locally with its driver before reaching the controller. Now, in this topology, you have two different networks. This is the application network, and I will show you what is the recommendation to configure it. And I have a field network, and sometimes, if I have redundancy, I can have internal application object server network, so 3 networks. This is number 1. The internal, the redundancy, number 2, and the communication driver with the field is number 3. How to configure it? This I will show it in demo. But what to install? It's very easy for every server need to be deployed. It needs to have a bootstrap. The bootstrap is a Microsoft service that allow you the intercommunication with your Galaxy. You need to check a Galaxy repository for Galaxy repository, historian server. It's a checkbox, only a checkbox that you need, and the server itself or the software will be installed locally on the server. For the engineering station, for the communication driver, you have the OIDA and the IO server, the drivers itself. And for the engineering station, you need the IDE, the historian client to check the historian, and you need the InTouch. Now, I recommend the IDE to be installed as well on Galaxy repository, because engineering station will remotely connect to your Galaxy repository. It's good to have the IDE, which is integrated development environment, on the Galaxy repository. For the client, in case you are using InTouch for system platform, you need InTouch runtime, which is window viewer. For InTouch OMI, you don't need to install anything other than a bootstrap. Let's show this in a fast demo. So first, what we need is I will show you some technos that's very good technos to follow before your installation. There is technos number 470. This technos will show you the compatibility and system, how to check what in your system. This is a very good, the time synchronization. It's a small FAQ. Technote 10-225. This technote will show you every user group from Orchestra, a config, that means Orchestra configuration tools. This is a group. It will provide you the permission. So every engineering user must be part of a config tools, a Galaxy owner, the services for SQL service InTouch. It's all in here. So what are these groups? It will show you. It's shown in this technote. 10.402, this technote is very important to check the ports that you need to exclude from your firewall. Yeah, in 470 as well, there is a question, there is something about the antivirus as well. Yeah, those are supposed to be excluding from antivirus. Those are the basic technotes you need. Other than this, you have the knowledge center. For knowledge center, I'll not go for details. This already, you can find the detailed videos, 2 detailed videos about these portals in our channel, and I would recommend you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. But briefly, you have the tech nodes and from where you install the solution hub or product hub. The technology matrix is where to find the communication or the compatibility of your system. So for example, when Wanderer Application Server 2017, from your technology matrix, it will show what is the life cycle of your system. So this life cycle is mainstream support, so the new one. And what are the compatibility, database compatibility, runtime compatibility, visualization, etc., and even internal coexistence. So this product can be installed on the same PC with those products, and are compatible with those products, but separate installation. Other than this, we have the knowledge, we have the, what we call it, the product hub and solution hub. For every product you want to install, you'll find the README file. We highly recommend you to read the README file before the installation, to show you where to install what. Now, this is the latest patch for System Platform 2017 Update 3 SP1. There is a new patch. We recommend you always to install the latest patch for your release. Now, for example, you can go for any big release and you'll find the README file with compatibility with related documents like System Platform Installation Guide. This System Platform Installation Guide, or any product, the installation guide is very mandatory to read or to look at before the installation. And by the way, those related documents can be installed from here, or you can find it inside your installation as well, from your CD or the ISO file. It's already there. Let's check, do some prerequisites I'll walk you through a live system. So for example, I have a system here where I already installed only Windows Microsoft Office regarding the Microsoft Office 32, and that's it. It's already prepared for a new installation. First, I have to check the computer name, and the computer name must to be fixed before any installation, any SQL, anything. You must to fix your computer name, and we recommend to have a simple computer name. Do not use dash, do not use underscore, do not use any type of quotation. Like if you have a server 1, 2, 3, but without a dash. This is just a recommendation. This is 1. 2, regarding the system here, we have here the network. So the network is it must be configured in this way. Regarding the networking, this is the network. Let's go for properties and use for every network. I told you there is 3 different types of network. So for every network, you have to put it in a different subnet or different network. For example, I have for my GR, this is my Galaxy repository in 192.168.101.1, for example, with the subnet with or without a default gateway. This is my application network. In case I have a redundancy, change totally the network. Don't put it on same network. Make it on different network. This is very recommended. And for the field as well, totally different network. Now this is 1. 2, go for advanced. And in case of redundancy, or before the redundancy, make the priority. So the application, remove the automatic metric for the application, make the priority number 1. For redundancy, it's have priority number 2. And for the fields, is 3, 4, 5, etc. And do not forget as well for the redundancy to remove it from DNS. So the network, the redundant network, remove it from the DNS address because it is static. It will never be dynamic. The dynamic part is for the application. So in case of the application itself, what you can do, even if you have a DNS, so it's fine. You are working in domain, no need to do anything. In case you are working in work group, go for the host file. You can find the host file in C, Windows, System32, drivers, etc. And this is the host file. In the host file, again, this is if you are working in work group, it will take place of the domain controller or DNS. So go open with, you can open it with a notepad, okay? And simply put the IP address of the application, remember, not the redundant, not anything, the application, like 192.168.101, for example, .1. Well, I don't recommend 1, and let's make it like 11 or 10. Prefer to not put it 1. Anyway, GR platform, and put all the servers like 192.168.101. For example, 12 for your AOS 1, 13, AOS 2, 14, etc. The client as well. Put all your system in here. Save this this file. No, not save it for now. Take this file and put it on every PC. That's it. Last but not least, the installation. Once you open the installation, you have to select even a product-based selection or AVEVA system platform computer role. In case you are not familiar with the installation, you can start with application AVEVA system platform computer role. At the end, it will guide you through the product-based. Now, let's choose. This is a GR server only. For example, let's go through. So this server, I want to choose it as system platform development server, and it's for development, and that's it. You can go. You have here an option all-in-one. Next, and you get what it will be installed with in this server. Go for customized installation to have more features. Same will be in case you choose a product-based selection. In product-based selection, I will choose this one is my development here by product, and the first one it was by role. So let's add, you can choose whatever you want. License platform, I want the license server to be here locally. Next, let's customize installation. Next, for more details, you can always look at the installation guide. It will show you in detail where to install what. So as I said, this is my Galaxy repository. So I'll check the Galaxy repository. It's supposed to be here. And everything I checked, the mandatory part will be checked with it. Next. And here I have to ask for some agreement. Agree. Yes, agree. And it will ask you here, please put the password for username and password for your application. This is the administrator application or application administrator. Please choose the user to be part of, to have administrative roles or at least a power user role. So in case you are working on in a domain, you can always make it a local account. You can create this user before or right now during this installation. But again, it must be even an administrator or at least a power user. Can it be a user in the domain? Yes, it can be. Personally, or with some experience, I prefer to have a local user for the application administrator and have it as an administrator. Like let's have a student, whatever. This is already exists. W. Here I will give it. Now create local. If this user doesn't exist, if it's already there, you can remove it. Be part of a domain. Now, in my case, student already exists, so let's go for next. Please read any during the installation the warning that you have. It's not a warning, just pay attention. This user, it's have expiry date, whatever. You can change it from the computer management. So yes, etc. And can continue. Yes, for install the SQL. The SQL and all the prerequisites exist in your system already. Regarding the SQL, here you have SQL Express in case you are using less than 25,000 IO. In case of more than 25,000 IO, it's more recommended to use the standard. Now everything will be in the installation file. Only you need to follow next, 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 and everything will be installed as it's designed. After finishing installation, you will have all the groups already installed. This is the groups. As you see, everything with AA, that's mean orchestra. New groups will be there. So, for example, AA config tool. This is the group that you need to add a user in it for the configuration. Is regarding the computer management, you can find it here and add your user. Depends, is it a power user, AA power user, AA user, or regarding the system administrator or power user. But after the installation, right away, there will be in case of 2020, it will be under AVEVA. In case of before 2020, it will be Wonderware. You'll find something called configurator. The configurator, it will configure the server that you already installed. If you didn't install historical server, for example, you'll not find this one. So I already installed the license. It's supposed to have a license. And where is my license of this local PC? Could be on locally. It could be on a license server remotely. So I have to put the username, test connection, and then connect. For historian, I will not go for details because in installation guide, it will show you how to configure your system. Same here for historian, where are the database, just configure and go straight forward. The AVEVA system monitor, we will check this tool. It's very important tool. Just you need to test the connection and configure and finish all the configuration. Let me just talk about the system management server. In system management server, this is a new starting in 2017 update 3. And this is for cybersecurity reasons. This server is to is to encrypt the communication within your system. So even you have to create the one that provide the certificate on this PC, and all these the platform that's connected to this PC must to have this PC's name here. Or in case you don't need any encryption, and it's not recommended based on the cybersecurity, just use no system management is configured, so there will be no encryption. Again, all these details exist already in the installation guides. That's it for, let's close this one, exit. In case you misput the application administrator, or there is something wrong with it, or it's not reading well, you can always refresh the application administrator from change network account. So you can change your application and put the new one, username, password, in case. Please, every PC must to have the same username as application administrator with same password. Once you put it, click OK, and it will restart. Will not do this part. This is regarding the pre and during installation. After installation, we have a few things to monitor during my my application, and this will talk about the scan period and the application or app engines. Now remember, I have always to look at the scan period and look at the I/O update time. I have to check there is no overruns, or not there is no overruns, but there is no new overruns coming all the time. The idle time. And I have some equation to make sure that the average execution time, and I will show you those, all these I will show you later on. The average execution time over scan period is supposed to be lower than 30 to 40%. If you have average execution time over scan period bigger than 70%, you have to react. That means your system is overloaded. Generally, the system CPU's load supposed to be 20, 30% is okay, not more. Now, number of app engines supposed to be always lower or equal to the double numbers of CPU cores. But we recommend to not exceed 6 app engines. Every app engines have supposed to have different scan period, and every scan period is recommended to be a prime number. What's a prime number? Is a number that only divided by himself or by 1. Why I'm doing this? Because if not, I might have a chance that 2 app engine will execute at the same time. In this case, I will have some spikes in the CPU. In case I divided different scan period, and every scan period is a prime number, I'll be 100% sure that my app engines will never execute at the same time, and I will have a smooth CPU load. I will show you all of these, but first and last, I will talk about the system monitoring, AVEVA system monitoring. It was the name, it was Sentinel. This is a very good monitoring tools for you that you can use it. It will show you the system healthiness, that the object is connected or not, the orchestra server status, the SQL servers, hardware loads, etc., etc. It's very, very useful, and it has its alarms and reporting tools, and it can show you the whole galaxy in one page. I will go to this in the next demo. Let's go for it now. First, what I need is to check my system. I'll go to System Management Console, SMC, so Orchestra or System Platform Management Console. In here, if you have a history, to check it, you only need to check the status, and within the status, everything must be as green. Let's go with status. Check that everything is green. That means all the servers are already, or the modules are working. Regarding the log viewer, this is a very good tools to look at, and you can find all the info, warnings, and error. And by the way, this error, you can put it in the knowledge center here and search for it in case something wrong is happening. Now, what I want to show you is inside your operating integration server, or the OI server. Once you are creating, let's go for local. I have the SI here, SIM, Okay, and I will go for the PLC port. Let's go for PLC and device group. Once you create a device group, here this is the interval, update interval in milliseconds. So how fast I'm reading from the PLC. For example, here I'm reading, I have 3 topics. That's mean the first topic I'm reading every 300 milliseconds. This is very fast for a SCADA system. I have a normal every 1 second, and I have a slow every 10 seconds. This I have to put in consideration while I'm working with the up engine's scan period. So scan period versus how fast I'm reading from the server. If I'm reading from normal, that means here every 2 cycles it will have same value. So no need for 500 scan period as a scan period 500. Let's make it 1 second if I'm reading a normal update interval time. Why? Because I will have redundant reading. I will not read any new update value because the value will be updated every 1 second. So this is why it's good to have an app engine for slow, app engine for normal, and app engine for fast reading. Why this? Because bigger the scan period is, I'll have more time to finish all the scans in the object. So it will be more relaxed. This is the first thing I have to put in my consideration. Second thing, it's always recommended for the DDE SweetLink client when I want to connect to any topic, it's better to have the scan mode active on demand. What's active on demand? That means just update when I need to update. If the topic is sleeping, don't need to update and make some traffic. So for better performance or lower traffic in the network, always choose the active on demand. Now, after doing this, we can check some attributes for App Engine. I already prepared in Object Viewer the list that I need to check, and this is the list. It's very important. I put the object count, scan overrun, the scan period, execution type, and some idle type. So this here it will show me how many objects I have. In case of scan over count, it will be incremented by +1 every time the App Engine is missing a reading from the object. That means it didn't read all of them. Now, if this number is high or low, it doesn't mean anything. The most important is not incremented periodically, because sometimes maybe something happened to the Windows itself that is not reading, so it will be incremented. So it's not always 0, but just look that it is not incrementing. Scan period to check. This is already talked how to choose the scan period. And I told you, execution average time, this is 0 over the scan period, the scan overrun, execution time average over scan period supposed to be lower than 20-30%. So this, in my case, it's 0. 0 over 500, it's 0. Last but not least, the idle, minimum idle time, maximum idle time, and average. Those show me how long my system have it wasn't working, or my App Engine was relaxed, doing nothing. If it's 0, that means the App Engine is overloaded. Suppose it must to have a little bit of value in here, especially the minimum and the average. It's supposed to be more than 0. Why? Because I need that my App Engine to have a period of time doing nothing. That means I'm 100% sure that the scan of the all object is already done. Those are very important attributes we need to look at. And last but not least, I want to show you a very good tool for to check the healthiness of your system. Let's go. It's already built in with your system platform. You go for AVEVA System Monitor, or in 2017 it names Sentinel System Monitor. So let's go for system. It's a web-based application. You can go and put in the username, and it's very easy and friendly user tools. This is the home. You can check from home how many total active alerts you have, and it's divided into what? So here you can find I have 2 Windows service alert, total Windows are 2. I have total Wonderworld service alert is 3. It will show you everything in one page. And if you click on the total alert, it will go directly to the alerts itself. What are the alerts? You can look at it and check and acknowledge these alerts. And go for configuration and check the admin settings. So it will automatically log out in case the administrator or whatever the user is logging in after what can log out. Some general settings, folder settings, etc. Some categories settings. What are the categories we have in this system? Users and upload agent if you have some agents. Monitored machine. What are the machine that you are monitoring in this system? So from my case, I have only one machine. And because I'm using a based, I can only have, this is the base mode, I can have only one machine. Rules, there is some rules overview. So what are the rules that I have? For example, give me an alert for expiry within 1 day. This is the license rule. 7 days, 70 days, show and unshow those kinds of rules, or you can create your own rule. And at the end, we have alerts. So you can look at the galaxy diagram. Look at this. I can look at my whole galaxy. Okay. And you can look at the alerts based on some like computer health. I don't have anything. Let me check. Wonderworld services. I have 3 coming from the historian. Okay. So I have 3 alerts coming from the historian. I think one of them is related to the client, and will show you by the categories what are the alerts in here. To know more about the system monitoring, it's you can find in AVEVA documentation, this is 2020, or Wonderworld documentation if it's previous to 2020, you'll find something called system monitoring. In my case, it's system monitoring user guide. It will show you how to use it from A to C. It's 38 page only. Very friendly user. It's web browser, very easy to use, very easy to configure, and it will show you and explain you everything. Now that's it for today's session. In case there is any question, I think I covered those are the essentials. Yes, for sure, there is lots of practices that you can follow related to other things, to hardware, software, but this is the essential that I need to cover. In case there is any question, please let me know.
Thank you, Munzir, for the session. I hope the audience found it valuable and interesting as much as I did. So, as we have mentioned before, we are still waiting to receive the audience questions. Let's give them a few minutes. We received first a question about Sentinel licensing. Is it for free? It's not Munzir, but can you elaborate more a little bit about where they can find it depending on the levels and so?
Okay, Sentinel. Okay, okay, it depends on the customer first. For Sentinel, depending on the customer first agreement. If you have a basic or standard customer first, you'll get a basic agreement. Let me check this one, like the one that I have it in here. Just let me and here I can look at it. So you'll get something like this, the basic mode. A basic mode is Sentinel is running in basic mode. For multi-feature mode, please apply a valid Sentinel license. So basic mode is only can show one PC and it will be limited. This is for standard customer first. In case you want the full features, you can buy it. No, it's not for free, unfortunately. You have to buy it. Or if you have an elite customer first, you will get it for free.
Okay.
I think I covered this part.
Yes, just a second. Someone is asking if we have 25K IO, how to estimate the number of engines or servers?
If you have the 25,000 IO,
yeah, 25K IO, how to estimate the number of
IO? Perfect. This is a very good question. Now, regarding the when this is a good estimation and good exercise. Let's check it in here. Now, when we're talking 25,000 IO with or without the redundancy. This is the first question. With redundancy, I can't cover 25,000 IO with 2 servers. I'm talking about application server with redundancy. So I need 2 application object servers, 1 Galaxy repository, this is 3, and in case you need the historian, this is 4. This is with redundancy. Without redundancy, I need only 3. So the application object server will be only 1. Now, this generally this is the estimation. So theoretically, the app engine, any app engine, can hold up to 25,000 object, but empty object. Now, here you have to ask your question. How complicated your object is. There is a lot of scripts. It's very complicated. Once you have a lot of script and complication, you have to put in your mind that this app engine must to scan everything. So the 25,000 object, not IO. The estimation, it will be like I explained it, but once you go more in detail in your application, you will find in new arguments in this project. So every app engine can host up to 25,000 objects. In case the object is complicated, it can be lower and lower. And this is another recommendation. In case you have any built-in feature, use the built-in feature and don't use this the script. Now, how to size? Let's have, again, this is the redundant application. So theoretically, I have 4, but my objects are very complicated. The first question you have to ask, how fast I must read from the field? The maximum, it's 1 second. By the way, 1 second is too fast, but let's say 1 second. So you put your scan period on 1 and check. Do you have an overrun? If you have overrun, even you have to make to put the scan period more, like more than 1 second. If it's forbidden and you're not allowed to go more than 1 second, make a new app engine. So you will have 2 app engines and divide the object into 2, one for app engine 1 and one for app engine 2. Still have objects overrun. That's mean I'm not. Make it 3 app engine, 4 app engine until you reach the limits. Now, this is the limits you can find in the task manager. In performance, the CPU must be every time lower than 20%. In my case here, I have 8 cores. 8 cores, that means theoretically, I'm allowed to 16 app engine. But as I said, we do not recommend more than 6. If you reach the limit and you still have overrun happening, that means you need to add a new server. You need to add a new server. So in this case, will be doubled your server. Instead of 4, it will become it's not double, it's 2 app engine with a backup, another 2 app engine with a backup with GR server, and it will become 6. Okay, the app engine and its backup and the backup will be counted. So if I have an app engine A and backup from app engine B, so those are 2 app engines on the same server. I have to count them both, not only the primary, but primary and backup, or else my system will start to become unstable. I hope I answered that question as it's supposed to be. I mean, this is what they are asking.
I think perfectly, yes. Okay. Let's give 1 more minute, Munzer, for the audience to type any question they have. And gentlemen, as you know, as we have always mentioned, you can just send us any question to our email and we can reply to you immediately. And regarding the sessions, always it's recorded and we're sharing the recording with you, as well as we are posting it on our YouTube channels. So you can just follow our YouTube channel to keep to have access to all these recordings. You can share it as well with your team. Third questions, I think, came. Can we add Sentinel as symbol inside the application? Munzer?
Okay, Sentinel as a symbol. Okay. Regarding the application, let me repeat that question in a different way. Can I have symbols to monitor my system in my application? Yes, I can. And my system already have some graphic toolbox prepared for those things. Like if you go for the graphics, you can monitor. Let's go for industrial graphics. This is that new library. It's called industrial graphic. You can find some widgets or some graphics. Let me check. It's somewhere in here. The graphics that will be applied for the app engines, the DDE Suite Link clients, and OPC client, and the platform. It will show you if it's connected, not connected. There is graphics for every one of these. In case you want to check the historian doesn't need to be deployed, but in case you want to check it on runtime, you can add a platform for the historian and add a graphic for it. But for Sentinel is totally different application. It's outside. It's reading it's checking the healthiness. You cannot have a symbol only for Sentinel. Sentinel is outside, a third party. So unfortunately, no, I cannot put Sentinel inside my application. It's a tool for monitoring. It's from outside. But everything linked to Sentinel, it can be monitored through some system scripts, some graphics, and as graphics in Wanderer or in AVEVA system platform is very, very flexible to work with. I hope
Thank you, Moser. Yep. Thank you so much. So it seems no more questions for now. That's perfect. So again, I want to just thank everyone for attending today's webinar. We will meet you soon with a new webinar topic. Till that time, stay safe and have a nice weekend. Thank you, Moser. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Nader.